Call to order the Monday, June the 26th, regular meeting of Municipal Council. The next item on our list is approval of our agenda. Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, I believe you have that item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and then seconded by Councilor Ward. This part council approves the agenda as a consent.
Great. Members, are there any changes, additions, anything to? No. Great, then first, second, just I'll call the question then. All in favor? Aye. Yeah, so disclosure of pecuniary interests and the general nature thereof. Does anyone have any disclosure tonight?
None by me.
Okay, before we go any further, it is worth noting that Councillor Martel is delayed. He's stuck in, not stranded quite, but he has a flight booked home from Mexico, but he's still in Mexico. And I don't believe he's zooming tonight, right? We don't know. Okay. Well, if he joins us, he joins us. If
You can't have a flight, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, so then we move on to delegations and presentations, and I am happy to welcome Mayor Okamo from Rito Lakes and Leslie Todd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Shaw, Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, members of the council, members, staff, members of the public. Appreciate the opportunity to be back in this area. A little bit of history. I've worked in this area. I was with the Preston. I think it was over 4 years ago. So I started my municipal career. It was nice driving out here. I went on with you. Leeds and Brandon County, and she's our fundraising. She's our support person, fundraising coordinator. I'm part of the fundraising committee, and one of the tasks assigned to me was to go to the various municipalities in all of Leeds and Brendel and see their endorsement and support for the Maple View Land Use project and what we're trying to do there. So I think I have one of those slides, and I guess we'll move through them. So first slide is a bit of the history of Maple View Lodge. I'm not aware of it. In fact, in 1895, in 1926, it was renamed Leeds and Brendel County Age and Maple View Lodge in 1972. Today it is home to 60 residents and it's served by 125 employees, delivering 24 hours round the clock care. And of course, it's owned and operated by the United County of Leeds and Brendel. We have a second home in the Rockville area that is jointly operated previous separate municipalities, along 10 municipalities in Leeds and Brendel. Redevelopment project background in 2022, the long-term redevelopment project was announced to build a new 192-bed home, which will accommodate the 60 residents that have an existing home. So the first people who move in a new home, those 60 residents, and then we will open it up to a very long and extensive waivers. It's the largest project ever taken on by the United Counties, $80 million bill. And province, of course, has been funding for this, and we figured $43 million of that over the next 20 to 25 years as we prepare donation. And then, of course, the county taxpayers are responsible for all the construction costs beyond that amount. So I feel quite fortunate the county agreed to award the tender to the cost of those construction. And of course, if you buy the site law, you'll see that the walls are starting to go up. And the target date is the completion spring of next year, or sorry, 2025. And in the summer of 2025, we'll be moving in to the first residents. Of course, as we move residents in, we'll have to set up. And of course, we all know that person support workers are a difficult occupation to fill, but we're working on strategies as well. We do know that this will be a premier destination site in the province, and we think that that will help us have good quality of sale. Next slide. We have the redevelopment. Maple View Landings is the new name of the entire property, and the old facility will continue to be called Maple View Lodge. And the current Maple View Lodge will be repurposed for other uses, and that's currently under review by the United County members. And that would be decided as at a later date. We have had some work done. And I would expect that it will likely be a combination of some sort of accommodation. Where people who might not need to get long-term care, but need an inexpensive, small place to live. And going in the future, you might need to go across the parking lot to the larger facility. Next slide, I want to introduce the George Temporary Family Home, Excellence in Long-Term Care. That was just unveiled on Saturday. And we were very happy for the generosity of the Temporary families. They contributed $400,000. We had a target of raising primarily $300,000 for the naming rights. They come to us with $400,000, and we're very fortunate to have people like the Tactical family who are committed to this particular facility. I know that George's mother, one of our long-term residents there, I believe she's over 100, and she passed away a few months ago. So we certainly consider to take things. In addition, the Tactical Family Fund has funded an additional $100,000 for one of the neighborhoods. There'll be 6 neighborhoods in this facility, and that was done in memory of George's mother. So, of course, construction is underway. There's a few photographs there that were taken earlier in the process, but the walls are starting to go up, and it's really a great live of activity. I know that about a month ago I asked about the level of activity there, and there were over 50 people working there. This is good for our local economy, obviously, and good for the fact that we know we're going to need more long-term care in the future. Did you know baby boomer demographic is higher than in other regions of Canada? I can speak to the whole municipality. We are 25% higher than the provincial or national average when it comes to seniors. Okay, and we would expect that in this area it's much the same. I don't possibly those numbers are high because we look at our areas, and this is a wonderful place to be. Beautiful area. Pace of life might be a little bit slower, and they're attracting those kinds of people. So they're coming to lifestyle environment, and we know that requirement for long-term care is going to grow exponentially, and we want you to be part of the solution. So why donate? We're looking to enhance the quality of life of residents. The goal that we're trying to raise is not to sort of reduce that 80 million. It's to have money available for those extras that will contribute to the quality of life of the people that live in this home. I read somewhere that the average age of people going into long-term care is 86. The average age is 18 months. So it's an end of life residence for people. We want it to be more than the residents. We want it to be. So the fundraising dollar will cover quality of life amenities and enhance the system of care. 100% of all donations will receive a tax receipt. And we want you to be part of that legacy. Become a donor to the best in class model facility in our community. So I'm here appealing to your council, but I'm also appealing to folks that might be watching this online. Citizens who feel that this is an important cause because every dollar is making. You know, we recognize the $500 donation at the category event we had a week, which was a free tour of their facilities, and again raised over $30,000 there. So we sold out 200 tickets. So there's a lot of folks in the region that feel passionate and designed for long-term care. We're on the next page. This is the new long-term care home that we benchmark best in class facility run facilities care. We're going to commit to ongoing affordable quality of care and service. This facility is affordable. Many of the private long-term care homes, you're looking at $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. And many of our people simply can't afford it. Okay. And we don't pick who goes in the home, that is done through the provincial government system, and it's the people with the highest need. So you may have relatives that have been in hospital where they say, you know, the hospital is not the right place for this person, they need long-term care. Well, those people tend to move off the admission list. We have over 220 people on the waiting list. So we know we're not going to involve those. So we want to make sure that we instill a family environment. Your family is our family, and we're offering a very high staff to resident ratio. So we feel like we can deliver. Next slide is my favorite. It has a picture of it. This is the fundraising committee. There's probably about a year ago, I started talking to maybe the line board of management that we needed to start a fundraising committee because I knew there would be all those things that were part of the contract that were important to residents. And these are the people that have volunteered. And we have Michelle Megan, who's the vice chair, who is the president of the cable. And of course, we have current politicians and former politicians. And lastly, we'll introduce Kathy Hugh, who's a marketing PR consultant, and of course, after this big stuff as well. So what's our goal? Our goal is $3 million. And we spent a fair bit of time talking about what the goal should be. We want it to be realistic. We want it to be attainable. The other one to be challenging. And I think we're there. Next slide, please. These are some of the renderings of some of the private, semi-private resident rooms that we're in the process of building right now. There'll be two types of accommodations, private and semi-private. And as I said, the rental fee for monthly thing is something like $1,800 to go to 25. It's in the financial. It's affordable. Major guest companions. So we created a list of things that we felt people donated a significant amount of dollars, and small amount. Here's what you can have to name attached to part of the facility. So the facility naming rights, the target amount is 300,000. That has been secured through a $400,000 donation from the Temporary family. Secure garden shelter has been confirmed as well. The Simpson Lodge, the Sonic Lodge and Movement stepped up to the plate just this week with a $100,000 donation, and so they'll have their name attached to the secure garden shelter. Neighborhoods, 6 of them. Two neighborhoods have been secured. There's 4 available. One of those. The dining rooms at $30,000 each. One has been secured. My own town has we responded on one of the 6 dining rooms. Next slide. Again, some of the smaller items that we down the list of other things that they identify. People can specifically look their funds towards if they want to have something go to something specific rather than just simply go into the general coffers. We could fund things like furniture, making sure that the residents want a TV, have a TV, all those kinds of situations. Next one is sunroom, yes. And one of those has been secured. We have 6 of those. We have 6 dining balconies. 2 have been secured, and we have a water company card that's been secured. I should mention that your municipality is the 6th municipality of 13 municipalities they have asked me to make the presentation to. And of the 6 that from the 5 that are visiting, 4 of all the excellent. Next, please. So we're asking you to consider a. Oh, sorry, I should mention that donations are all from 100% tax receipt, components of $1,000 or more, recognize the plan of the facility, which will talk later. We have a tree of giving for different leaves and on the size of the donation. And get some kind of tax receipts as well through the so we're asking you to consider again the naming rights in the facility. That's if that's your wish. That's remaining here with the logo and name on the facility. So a gift can be used for many additional amenities. Furniture and equipment. One of the things that I'm like is the fact that many of these rooms will have tracks, a lot of tracks for lift system. Not everybody needs a left in their way. But many people, when they get into long-term care, need to know staff needs to help those people out there. So they get into a wheelchair and go access to vehicle on time fashion. Most of these homes have one left on the floor. And just move the road in the road. I don't see them. They're not great. Makes the work for the staff so much easier, which helps you retain staff. And also means that folks can go to their meals when they feel like it, rather than having to wait times. It's their turn. So what's their turn? The home resident and your population is roughly 7,500. So we're asking you to consider a 3-year commitment for a total of $22,500. Now that can be done in a number of ways. Some municipalities are saying, okay, I've got a group of budget this year, I'm gonna do the donation at the end of the year, or you can spread it out over 3 years, or service at the end of the year, you can consider doing it then. Doesn't really matter. One of them give you the maximum flexibility. And we set the target at $1 per resident because we thought we have to be realistic. We know that we all pay into the county levy. You know that that's how people pay the capital cost structure and operation. This is the goal of all those independent that the folks won't have unless we raise these funds. So again, any of the mill contributions will also receive a red leaf on the maple tree of recognition for donations over $2,000. So options and giving. So some of the municipalities have said, you know what, over and above what we're doing, we're going to encourage service clubs, we're going to encourage legions, we're going to encourage church groups to do a separate fundraising. And those things are welcome. And the proceeds can be designated for quality life enhancement. And you can think about things like bond stealer or alternative barbecue, visit festival, particles, bingo, lottery events, fishing tournaments. Even told some of my grandkids they even run around the So, all of those things make a difference and give us the opportunity to put that word out. People care about this particular facility. And fundraising committee members are happy to attend an event. We sort of saw it. Obviously, I don't know all your churches, I don't know all your service costs here, and there may be opportunities for each of you when you're thinking of your groups to champion this particular cause. So gives residents a wonderful place to dine and socialize. Your township program exposure in the area designated, show the tax receipt of the full amount, illustrate social responsibilities and community contributor. I do want to mention the Pear Tree Fund. Now, I'm not looking for you folks to donate $35,000, but there may be people in your community with generous hearts, deep pockets. If they want to make a contribution through this particular opportunity, anything over $35,000, in the end, only costs them 10% of that money. The charity gets the full burden. So if you make a $100,000 donation, you get tax receipts for basically $90,000 of that through this particular federal program initiative. So if you know people that might be passionate about this particular cause, make them aware of this particular fund. And this has been done with other organizations that still use it. Other organizations that use this for large donors. I want to skip information out of taxable income. I want to use the taxable benefit of the majority of it. So we as the organization raising funds do not suffer. We get the full amount, but courtesy of the federal government's forward program, the company that might consider a large donation will get the taxable benefit for that. So I'm not going to go into all that detail because I think that's more applicable to some of the donors, and of course some of those people are being finished as we speak. Next slide, the pre-recognition. We appreciate, I want to say too, that we appreciate every level of contribution because it all makes a difference. Donors giving $1,000 or more will be recognized for the they've given at the facility. And the major gifts, for example, the gift from the Hackberry family, will also be recognized as the roots of the tree, foundation of the tree. So we thought some of this through. The next slide, one that I've taken the light, you can get the sense of what this thing will look like. Anybody making more than $10,000 donation, you get a red leaf, and on the leaf will be the company's name or individual's name. Maybe it's in memory of someone who wasn't able to do lodge, or someone that that you wanted to honor by the leaf on this particular tree, and it was from red, orange to yellow to green. Previous donors will also be acknowledged by plaques to the front entrance because we don't want to forget about those people that have donated to Canadian Food Lodge in the past. The next steps, approval by the donor of the dollar amount of contribution terms, sign off by the authorized members of the contribution agreement, media announcement, publicize the contribution. So I'm not looking for an answer today. I'm simply saying when you get a chance, have a discussion, prepare to come on board. We will, we'll come out, check presentation, or you make sure that you get some media coverage. That's part of the reason we have Leslie on board to help us to say, for example, on the Friday evening, we were at the lodge, with about 67 members of the Citizens on the lodge. Yeah, the check presentation, we did some photos, thank you. And we'll release on that particular mission. So think about what you want to donate. If you want to donate, and think about if you want to do something specific, that's already been paid in process. Okay, lots of those opportunities yet. So why donate? I just want to mention we think our staff is essential. They want the words. The next slide, we're a best practice following organization, and so we can recognize some excellent care. And I know people that president, they do a lot, and they all talk about what a homey place it is, how good the care is, etc. And you don't always hear that with people who are in the facility. I'm not here to run down our facilities, but you know, municipal homes have a fair to say, a better reputation. We want to make sure that. So this, so our residents of the region, they enjoy a great final years of their life here, and our staff take a personal interest in every benefits. And we're looking at a new model here as well, which even will provide greater flexibility to the resident. I'll use the example of most of these institutions, breakfast is at 8 o'clock. You try to come at 9, you're not going to get breakfast. Okay, we're going to have flexibility. You want to sleep in, we'll get your breakfast at 10:30. Okay, a whole different approach, which is centered on the residents rather than on institutional homes. Okay, so $3,000 campaign kickoff on May 24th. At that point in time, we had $800,000 raised. And say now, we're very close to 1.3 million. So that is an awesome number, given the fact that we only had the campaign launch a month ago, and we really only been working directly on taking donations in the last 2 months. So people care about this. And you know, there's a couple of examples there. I can mention other ones as well. So the next one will show you the promoter, which is roughly 1.29 million. So I was hoping to reach 3 million goal. We've given ourselves 3 years. We're in the first year. We know that once it's built and up and running, there's no point going to be. It's just much harder to sell. If you can actually see the project process, you understand the money. So, George, the GTAC Prairie Family Homes and Excellence. That's the name that the Tacklery Family House put on the new facility. And we're very pleased with that significant donation to the facility. Testimonials, I think you have this in your package. I'm not going to go into this stuff. I appreciate the fact that you have a big agenda. I want to keep you a lot of have to, so thank you for your time. I'm looking for a decision today. I don't expect a decision, but most of the municipalities, you know, in a couple of weeks, have gotten back to Leslie. Get them on board. So I'm here to answer, Mr. Mayor, I'm here to answer any questions that you were determined my point. And I'll do myself my best to do it. I don't know the answer. I'll make it up. Yes.
On behalf of the group, I will say thank you for taking the time, doing a very thorough presentation. I would expect nothing less of you. So excellent presentation. You've certainly done a fantastic job. The group, the fundraising group, has done a fantastic job. It's nice. I was looking at the 833 number and saw that it's up to 1.3 since this package was put together. So another 500K added to that. So excellent so far. So I'm going to open it to the group for discussion. I don't know whether they'll approve tonight or not. I fully expect that it'll probably get pushed to our next committee of the whole, but for discussion and funding source, that sort of thing. But we'll let them raise questions and ask if they have any in advance. So,
Through the mayor, I just wondered, you said you have like a 200 or some people meeting.
Yep.
What is the time during that 200? so you can get in,
Again,
even when it's finished.
even when you're on top of the list, doesn't mean you'll be the next person to go in. Because it goes on the health priority of potential candidates, so, you know, obviously tell us that 10th person on the list is the next one who needs to go in, because it takes once from the bid. And that's what we're doing. But I can say that we have residents in every municipality needs to benefit over the last number of years. Including separating municipalities, because what happens with some of the rural people, they get to the point where they have to do long-term care, when they want to consumer services, so they move into Brockville, they move into Prescott, right? Because they can be close to the store, their dog, whatever the case is, and then they can, you know, do it. Price of rents, it's no longer for, right? And, you know, so it's waiting list is there and gives us an indication, but people can also put themselves on the one waiting list. But we have no concerns about filling this facility. Biggest challenge is going to be gradually staffing up. And that's the nice thing about the building, it's in 3 wings and 6 neighborhoods. So you fill, every neighborhood is 32 beds. So you fill one, you staff. Then when you're ready and your staffing is up to a certain level, you fill the next one. So it's going to be a phased approach. And as we fill up, that list should go down. But as I say, you know, for people being added to that.
I was wondering because I'm looking for the whole now. Those 10 years, I'm like, it's no.
Yeah, I got really concerned.
Yeah.
We're all gonna need funding, because, you know, historically, we always look, you know, parents look after grandparents, so on and so forth, that's the way. And, you know, the more people working in the family, that becomes much more difficult. You know, we do have to have some money for the people, make sure that we provide our.
Sure. Just one more question. I'm not sure whether it really pertains to this or not, but I know people that are like wouldn't make $1,800 a month for a pension off right now. So if they get sick and
They're
government step in. Right.
Maybe some slight. I mean, they have to disclose their income, they have to lose out their savings.
Yeah.
As a validation, but I have grandmother who was in that sort of situation. And once you don't find your sharing assets, not, you know, they picked up the.
That's good to know. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much, Mayor. Well done, well presented. And I just have the one question. This $1 per resident you want, is this part of the 3 million or is this beyond? The dollar per resident you want from us over the 3 years, is this part of the 3 million?
Yes,
Oh,
that's where, that's, there's a line here somewhere that's in other community.
very good. Thank you. Well supported, 100% bias. If I can get just 2 more votes, you're all right. One more.
Well, as I said, we don't need the answer today, and we want you to be able to, you know, think about it, and say.
I think it's a great idea having
What we want to do. You talk to the treasurer to sort of say, you know, do it over 3 years, do it over 2 years.
Yeah,
This will be an on, like, we have a foundation in system law, but, you know, there are a group of lovely, they sell twice a year, you know, and they just don't have the capacity to raise the amount of money that we need.
no, good idea. Well done. Thank you.
I was,
Thank you.
This one I was get eager to ask questions first, because Councillor Smale took the good question. I was gonna ask that. No, it was just about the waiting list and how that worked, and so thanks for the details on that. And I mean, it's a good initiative. It's good to see us trying to do extra things to help out here. I mean, I do think that we should probably hold off a little bit to see what kind of a bake sale, Sean's gonna have, or Treasurer's gonna have to help us figure out how to fund this, but, I think we could, probably have that conversation.
Thanks, yeah.
Yep.
I do.
It seems so much back here, we do enjoy our baked goods, so. Yeah, no, I mean, otherwise, great presentation, thanks, really, it was well done, and, I appreciate it, so.
Good. So thank again, on behalf of the group, unless there's any other comments. Thanks. Yeah.
So.
See you, Leslie. We forgot to even see it.
We forgot the importance to make so.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening.
Well, my, your marriage sits next to the county council, so we kind of keep an eye on that.
Thank you.
You're on a roll tonight. Slow it. Okay. So then we're on to consent agenda then, which is number 5. And so items listed under consent agenda are considered routine and no longer require further discussion, are enacted in one motion. The exception to this rule is that a member may request that one or more items be pulled for discussion and voted on separately. So, does anyone want any items pulled from consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. I would like to have 5E committee, the whole committee, June 5th, 2023. Please.
Okay, 5E is pulled. We'll discuss it at the item 8C and further.
Yeah, I would actually like to hold up 8 or 5 days prior to me, I would vote for a real consultation.
Okay. And that will be discussed at item 9B then. Please. Are there any others that we want pulled out? Once, going twice, gone. Okay, so is there a mover for consent agenda then? Do we have somebody who has that? Oh yeah, wow, sorry. Councilor Smith, you have that.
Yes, moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Ward. The municipal council receives and approves the following consent agenda items as presented. A special tri-council, 25th of May, 2023. B regular council, May 29th, 2023. C public library board, April 25th, 2023. D port management committee, May 23rd, 2023. Committee of the whole community development, June 5th, 2023.
No, stop. So I'm sure I'll be.
Yeah, or just E and H, or
That's okay. So go ahead.
Committee of Whole Administration Operations, June 12th, 2023. Application of service severance, 27 Davis Street, Franceschi. And I is doors open sessions. And J is industrial parklands for appraisal and sale.
Okay, so just so that everyone's clear, we've removed from consent agenda both E and H, so it's moved by Councilor Smale and seconded by, I think it's Chris Wood. There's no discussion on this, right? There's not supposed to be any discussion on it, so then I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. So. Okay, so then we go to, okay, let me catch up. So consent. So then there's no 7 either. I'm just looking towards the clerk. There's no 7. 7 disappears as well, or?
Share. That's correct. It's both, same day and
And so then we go then to 8C, which is committee of the whole. Community development from June 5th, the minutes from June 5th, 2023. Correct? Okay. Discussion. So that is, yeah, let's do so we wanted that way. That's the one you want to talk about.
do we move this for,
You can do it after, I think. We'll have to figure that out.
yeah.
So what did you?
Yeah, I have on page 65 of 126. One is we inquired about the Canadian custom site replacement status at the Cardinal boat launch, nothing's been done. Just wondering if we can maybe get a hold of Mr. Barrett's office to see if we can at least take the whole sign down. Duly chair to the CEO.
Through the panel, we won't follow up on it.
Thank you. And pardon me,
Further on those minutes?
yes, 6A1 consent policy review, the land use planning, I'd like an update. Of the committee, we're the overview of the township official plan, how's it going with reducing the lot size? The acreage, etc.
Who's that?
Could I have maybe the CEO or to Wendy?
Sure, Mayor, the staff have done some competition with Norfolk, and Norfolk is preparing to bring to the community work committee. Ideally, this would be, we're planning for September, but certainly would bring it back sooner if it could be prepared.
Coming back to the CDC in September,
Yes,
that late? I thought we were on the clock at 120 days from we had the meeting last month. By the time we had this meeting to the time it goes to the counties.
Chair, I think that the timer was on a chart that's prepared by the county's official plan amendments, which is the time that starts once an application has been submitted.
But that won't be submitted until at least September, no, October.
The chair, we do need to do some consultation with the counties before we submit a beneficial plan amendment. And Militech would need to have it prepared. We would like it brought to committee in August. It might not be till September, so we're aiming for September and hope to have it.
Okay, thank you.
That's really
Better.
Are you good with all the rest of them?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Okay, so then. You would move a motion, second motion to pass those minutes.
Yeah,
The chair, the motion would be for the board. We have to extend that motion. I give you all the consent items. We have to go back and do to this report.
I think Councillor Dillabaugh moved it all like on his sheet already, and he has a second. Is that okay?
so
Awesome.
We can withdraw.
Okay.
is that good? Then we
Well, it's like that, yeah.
thank you, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself and second by Mr. Snell, municipality council receives and approves the minutes of committee of the whole community development meeting dated June 5th, 2023.
Thank you. Further comments on those minutes? Oh, sorry, a whole question, all in favor? Okay, the next 7 minute, no, that doesn't matter. The rest of these are consent, correct? And we go consent on A, consent on B. No, not consent on B. We're on the, we pulled B and. Yep. Yes. Okay, so we pulled B for discussion. Thank you. Do you want to speak to it? Or?
I mean, I know we on June 15th sent a letter off to the counties. Which I think we had some, I don't want to call them demands, but some very strong statements in there that we were hoping to follow up on. And they do have a deadline of June 30th, I believe, where they were going to have their last bit of information gathered, and we were hoping for an extension on that, and then as well as seeing if they were going to be going with the 70 that figure or the 60 figure, and I don't think we got that resolution. Just we have some information, or we're not. Do we need to have a further discussion here to try and see if we can get an answer before June 30th, essentially?
Thank you. Is there, I think, Council Ward's asking if there's any further update on the Lear from the counties.
Through the mayor, we know that the candidate received the letter that was submitted. As of this time, we have part of the comment from county.
And when saying county, do we mean Planscape then as well?
landscape review. Whatever.
Good. And I think it's worth noting, I know I was inundated with emails concerning from agricultural folks that were concerned about their land use being changed last week, I believe. I think all of those were forwarded. I know I forwarded anything I got to Elaine Mallory at the United Counties. You know what? I don't think I forwarded them to you guys, and I don't know. That might be my bad. I'll have to go back through them, and I don't know if you guys were copied on them in the first place either. From where the folks were the road line, so you might not even know they exist because I just sent them to the counties.
I have some myself.
So through the mayor, the important part is that counties receive that information. That's the key.
Okay, I will.
More so than.
I'll make sure that I go back and send them the council mail though. Just, I mean, it doesn't. I guess it hugely doesn't matter. It's still unreliable if it's under my name, but I prefer to keep with what we always do, which is send them to council mail if they receive that. So my apologies, I forgot to do that. Were you saying something? Sorry.
I'm the same, I had a bunch sent to me and I didn't forward it, so. But I know that they were sent to the counties that I do, so.
So when we will get, when there is anything to report back, we'll hear.
Yeah, through the mayor, we receive any information with respect to the feedback that we provided, we will certainly be sure to pass that along. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. So then I believe, do you have that motion then? I know I do get around with this a little bit. So
I don't know if I'm going to take or not. I don't know if there's sentences, but that's okay. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Spain. The municipal council directs staff to submit the Lear report and mapping council comment letter and request that the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville mail notice letters to impacted property owners and extend the time frame for comments past June 30th deadline, as recommended by the committee. We read it out.
good, thank you. Further comments, further discussions on the later? Good, all right, I'll call the question, all in favor. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I believe we're on to the wet versus dry flow assessment study, correct? I see nodding of heads. Item 9E, I believe, and Councillor Smale, you have that study in front of you.
That's correct. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Chris Ward. The municipal council award the wet versus dry flow assessment study to Scientific Consulting and to cover the cost from the Spencerville wastewater reserve fund 98,308.06 to an upset limit of $69,000 as recommended by the Community Health Administration and Operations.
Thank you.
Absolute waste of $69,000 in my opinion. However, guess we're required to do it, so know that there's we can hopefully it will provide us some valuable information that we don't already have. Does anybody else?
I mean, and hopefully it comes in at the lower amount of feeling, it's like 30,000 or something like that. They're not having some of the extras, but I think we did say that we can trust staff and do their best to staunchly defend that position and see what happens, but I agree with it. It's more than you'd expect.
Good. You guys, comments? No. All right. So duly moved and seconded. Certainly debated well at the committee of the whole. So is there further discussion at all? Hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? So item F, which is board investments and council boards.
Yep, moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Wagasnail, that municipal council authorize and direct the port general manager and treasurer to take $3,3,499,737.41 from the Scotiabank GIC, maturing on June 30th, 2023, and invest $1,499,737 into a 180-day non-redeemable GIC at the best available rate. The remaining $2 million invested into a 1-year non-redeemable GIC at the best rate available as recommended by the Port Management Committee.
Or again, so reinvesting about $3.5 million of the port's investments back into GICs, which I believe were 5.74 range. I'm looking at the treasurer's and nodding. Yeah, fantastic return on that investment. Certainly going to bring in a fair amount of interest that hasn't been seen in a lot of years. So good to have that money, and certainly good to see some return on it. Thanks to Mr. McCauley for the work that he put into it in advance of our court meeting, as well as our treasurer. Was certainly discussed at length at the court. Is there further?
Just a quick one, as I was reading it, I was wondering, so that exact number, 3.49, right down to 41 cents. That is the exact number it's going to mature at, or could it be, okay, so nope, that's good. I don't want to make sure we didn't have one of these experiences we had, $3,000 left over, trying to figure it out.
Okay, thank you. It's an interesting.
That was an interesting conversation. It's an interesting putting in this.
Yeah, anything further? No, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Okay, so then we are looking at the elastomeric wall covering for the green bins award, and it looks like you're
Spending all the years this month. Yeah, but moved by myself and second by Councilor Weisfeld. That municipal council award the elastomeric wall covering for the port. This was laughing at me, just kidding, it's fine. Covering the port, no. For the port grain bin project to Saints Contracting in the amount of $101,980, excluding HST, for the contingency of 10%. And number 2, authorize the port general manager to sign and execute purchase order as recommended by the port management.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Again, another good discussion of the port. We're helping to it's an old building, and with the concrete's falling, and this will be a good corrective long-term measure. Again, thoroughly discussed, and this won't do the whole port, but it'll certainly get a small amount done, and we'll see how that works moving forward. Hopefully it's a good investment. So thoroughly discussed again at court meeting. Questions, concerns, comments? I don't know, but I don't know that we were asked the color counselor, but I think that there were some discussions about white. Yes. Yeah. Further, anyone? All right, call the question then, all in favor? I'm sure if you email Robert, he'll answer that. Don't try to influence. Okay, so 9H, which is port again, which is the electrical feeders to the Marine Motor Control Center. Number 6. And it's already got that too.
By myself, and Canada seconded by one smell, the municipal council awarded the electric feeder to the Marine Motor Control number 6 project to Decor Electric in the amount of $243,500, excluding HST, for the 10% contingency. And 2, authorize the port general manager to sign and execute the purchase order as recommended by the port management.
So the awarding the electrical feeder to Marine Motor Control, which is Decor Electric. So are there further comments or questions? Clearly discussed again at port general meeting. Anyone have anything to add or concerns before I call the question? Nope. Okay, then I will call the question. All in favor? Good. So far. All right, so approval of correspondence, and I believe Councillor Smale, you will now have that item.
That's correct, Richard. Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Gillibaugh. The municipal council receives the correspondence listing for the following dates as previously circulated. May 31st, 2023, June 7th, 2023, June 14th, 2023, June 21st, 2023.
So everyone remembers anything that comes through in your correspondence packages when they get sent out by the deputy. I think it's usually the deputy clerk that sends them out. So if there's ever anything in one of those packages that you want to put that to agenda, I'll have to do this ask to do so. Comments or questions on the correspondence? Then all in favor? And municipal disbursements, again, Councillor Smale, I believe you have the municipal disbursements sheet as well.
Yes, your worship. The municipal council, was moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Gillibaugh. The council receives the payment and municipal invoices. Circulated and dated as follows. Reported date, May 26, 2023, 098. $120,626.61, and reported date May 31st, 2023, -099, $173,031.96, and reported date June 2nd, 2023, -101, $72,645.59. Reported date June 15th, 2023, -108, $276,095.86. Reported date June 16th, 2023, -109, $240,657.59. Reported date June 22nd, 2023, -110, $316,847.37, a total of $1,199,904.98.
Got on yours to say. All right, so receiving now, not receiving and approving, they're already done, we're just receiving, correct? Yep. Still getting used to it. Get there sooner or later. So this is the time where I guess I ask if anyone has any questions in regard to any of the disbursements. Anyone have any disbursements?
I know, I already took care of it with the CEO.
Yeah, anyone else? How about someone? Have a word? No. All right, so then I will call the question then on the receiving the payment of the municipal invoices. So all in favor? Good. We move on to our bylaws portion, and the first one is the OPG license amending agreement, and I believe Deputy Mayor Gillibaugh, you have that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Ward that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to enter into the license amendment agreement with Ontario Power Generation Inc. And this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Thank you very much. So first and second reading. Everyone's had the opportunity to read over. Any questions before I call the question, or any comments before I call the question? Person's asked. Okay, all in favor? We proceed. If Councillor Smale or Councillor Martel isn't here, he's not included in a vote, so it's 4-0, so we can move third. Okay. Good.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Ward that the bylaw turning the license amending agreement with Ontario Power Generation Inc. We now read the third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2023-37.
Are there comments or questions again, third reading, debate at all on this to continue? Anyone? Definitely nothing.
No.
All right, then I will call the question then. All in favor?
Aye.
Good, and so we move on then to item 12E, which is the street banner display policy, and Councilor Ward, I believe you passed that.
I do, by myself and seconded by Councilor Lonnie Smale. That the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to adopt a street banner display policy. And this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
Good, thorough work done to update the banner display. I guess before we get into too much discussion, we'll call the question on, or if anybody has any comments or concerns.
No, I think your was, it was a well-written document. I think I tried to see if there's any loopholes in there. It does, it seems like it's doing solid, so. Good job on the staff, for sure.
So I'm gonna call the question, then we can debate if we need to in third reading, so all in favor debate.
Yep.
Good. Okay, proceed to third.
Sure. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Waddy Snail, that a bylaw to adopt a street banner display policy be now in read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, number 2023 dash.
Thank you very much. All right, so great work by staff in preparing this banner display policy. I will say the banners that we have up look fantastic to the staff. Thank you. Placements are what they are. They're good for now. Hopefully we'll see at some point maybe some expansion and some growth on the banners. It's worthwhile noting, I think, on a quick drive to Iroquois that there's about 100 of them in front of the high school at Iroquois as you drive by with the Canadian flag on Canada Day. They look fantastic. So
Williamsburg too.
yeah, they're all very. I haven't been out there, but they do look fantastic. So I know ours were extremely well received, especially by the LGBTQ plus community. And certainly as a mayor, and I think I speak on behalf of all of our council when I say that, seeing the comments on the social media posts and the positivity that was received from those and the inclusion, and it's a very good step forward. So thank you a lot to staff, all staff, for getting it done. It's good. It's fantastic. All right, comments, questions, anything further? Okay, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Sorry. Okay, CAO's administrative update. Councillor Smale, do you want to move that forward, and then we'll have the CAO's update?
Certainly can, your worship, move with myself, seconded by Councilor Chris Ward, that the municipal council receives the CO administrative report as presented.
Thank you.
CAO, you can present your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few highlights. The senior management team, we're just updating the procurement policy, and we'll be looking to bring that forward in July at the committee meeting. Followed by council at the end of July. Forestry service agreement. Quick kickoff meeting with the committee conservation. Staff will be providing sort of the area of focus in the priority list of assessments. Did signal at that time to have them at least view the Bank area to see if that's a possibility, and we'll get some further information with respect to that portion as the project moves along. Just wanted to acknowledge the good work of our joint health and safety committee with the awareness campaign with respect to ergonomics. It was well received. I know that I've been trying to do a little better job at getting up and moving around on a little bit more frequent basis. Doing a few more stretches that I probably should have been doing a few years back. With respect to training, we have the first of the two sessions scheduled with respect to accessibility and integrated standards and workplace violence harassment. The second session is scheduled for this Thursday. With respect to building, we were advised a few weeks back by Sanitation Conservation that some of the septic permit records were sort of missed during the transfer from the health unit to Sanitation. So we're working with the the health unit to retrieve those records and make sure that they get into certain patients' hands, and we have a copy as well. On page 2, with respect to treasury, the FIR for 2022 was submitted on time, and they're just waiting for a final review from the ministry on that particular item. With respect to facilities and recreation, the Johnstown pool, the heater is hooked up and in running. Also, with respect to Johnstown, the tennis courts, the paving phase was completed. And fencing and line paving will take place later on in the year. For the docks in the Cardinal, 4 grab cars will be placed on 4 docks. And the diver signage was installed sort of at the beginning of Legion Way near the pavilion, at the Conestoga, and also at the Weehawken. And that will be replacement Canadian flags being installed at the municipal facilities in advance of July 1st. Page 3, with respect to public works, there's an ongoing coordination and roadside brushing in conjunction with North Trumbull taking place. The street sweeping contract has been completed for the year. And also with the Ventnor Bridge armory, notices have been sent out to 40 residents in the area of Ventnor. The project will likely take 1 to 2 weeks to complete. There'll be some traffic disruption, but it's not expected that there'll be any need to do a full report on that. Operations, environmental services, just indicate that the drinking water quality management system, the third-party on-site audit is successfully completed. The Spencerville wastewater system on page 4. The one of the capital projects was the transfer switch at Spencerville station number 1 completed. We had staff completed a couple sanitary sewer laterals. One in particular on John Street was a significant run. One of the culprit there was something that keeps rearing itself every so often with respect to the North Road pipe, where it's functioning fine, and then sort of just collapse. That the section was basically replaced from the property line to the main. With respect to the fire department, if you recall, the women's firefighter boot camp typically held in the township. It's sort of taken off a little bit wider scale, and actually will look to take place at the regional training center in Lyndhurst this year. With respect to training, writing, we were still waiting on approval for the learning contracts with the fire college. And we did receive word today that both of those learning contracts were approved, and will proceed with the courses in August and October. With respect to fleet, I'm glad to report that the new tanker is now in service. On page 5, with respect to the Eastern Ontario Firefighter Convention on June 16th and 17th, it was a very positive weekend. The team put in a strong performance, finishing the second overall. Of note with respect to the mobile radio programming, some updates with the communication and radio repeater system has taken place, and this is going to help with sort of that interoperability with working with Prescott and Augusta in the future. Mr. Mayor, from that review, answer any additional questions.
Good, thank you for the report, CAO, certainly thorough and outlining all of the various work that's going on. Does anyone around the table have any questions for the CAO in regard to the report? Julian?
I do,
Okay, go.
thank you. Okay,
Looks like you want to comment.
on the agriculture layer assessment, you staff was attended the meeting on June 21st. Is that the same meeting that was in the evening? Or do you guys before? The CEO or the CPC?
Correct. Yes, I was just attending in person, and you were online.
Pardon?
I was just attending in person and you were online.
Yeah, okay, so that's one, okay. Okay, good. And the current pool is that hooked up through the chair to Mr. Spencer, the gas line? For the current pool here, what's the timeline? Do you have any? Or do we should maybe get, sorry?
2 weeks ago.
It could have been done 2 weeks ago, yeah. Is there any way we should give them a bump or a phone call maybe?
I have great people in mind, or it would be taking longer.
Sorry?
I said, I have great people in mind that I'm going with the message. If the support wasn't there from anybody, would be probably not into a call.
Cause I mean, we have this heater and it's not running, it's not much good to us. Maybe we need some, a little kick.
In fairness, and we do want to get them hooked up as soon as possible. It could get cool anytime, but both of the pools now have reached good temperatures, and they're far higher than they were last year at this time already, even without.
That is correct. Last year, that table was 64.
Yeah, it's 70.
The pool was at 72.
Yeah. It's better.
I have one too, of roadside brushing. I'm getting a lot of calls on some of our township roads that we're taking that. I don't know what you call it, bush hog and ripping trees. I just wonder if I asked our roads manager if we could look into maybe getting a professional looking at some of those trees to trim before just going along. So I wonder if we could look into that a little further, Mr. City. On that, I know it's a touchy situation, but I get 6 calls on Browsville. We must have been on Browsville Road.
Through the mayor, we very well may have. I'm not one.
I would say yes by phone calls. So I just wanted to look at something a little bit better of taking care of some of our trees instead of just moving them. That's all. The drainage, Johnstown drainage, pavement on Middle Street, the deficiency, did we find any deficiencies? Mr. Mayor, to the CEO or to the operations manager?
I'm not sure if the complete list of deficiencies that has been completed and relayed to the contractor. So certainly something that's ongoing.
Okay. Firefighter appreciation dinner. I'd just like to thank the chief, not here. It was a very nice evening, glad to see it. And my last one, and I'll let you go, is their 111th annual Eastern Ontario Firefighter Association. I was there from 10 to 4. Very, very proud of our fire department. Well done, Mr. Steve. Pass that on to the heat. Well done, our fire department made us proud. Thank you.
So, no,
Yeah.
oh, we do.
I mean, I actually just, one thought that came to me when Deputy was talking about the roadside brushing is, that, they did Marvin last year, and it really did look, like Armageddon went through there, but it's amazing now how it grows back so quickly and, you know, you can actually see the deer that are jumping outside and stuff. It makes a difference and it's good for safety. I get that it does look a lot.
Does it, you're right,
It's up above the big trees, that's.
Yeah, oh, it's just a quite a bit of context on that, because I did feel a little bit like that last year myself, and then, but once you start seeing it, it's a lot safer for us, you know, so that was the only one. I'm building, and I apologize as I didn't send this, as a question, Mr. CAO, but, I must have missed it somehow, but the department issued 57, permits to date, building permits, that is to date? Right. Okay, so that seems like we've had a better uptake recently, and I feel like that number was a lot lower.
Through the mayor, that's been, there's been, reasonably good uptake, I would say, in the last month or so.
Okay.
Councilor Smith?
Yeah,
Go.
I just wanna, to the chair, to the CEO, to recreation director, docs look really good, I'm really impressed with the way they put the handles on there, everything, they did a marvelous job, they are sturdy. They will have to be really. They hold up. They hold 200 pounds. When you pull them out.
Echo that as well. I just have one, and so I sat through the training, the accessibility training. You know, there were a lot of staff, and I believe one other member of council present the day that I was here, but notably missing from that was anyone from our court and anyone from our fire department. So do they do a different, this is my own ignorance, but do they do their own training?
The chair, work covers everything with, Smokey. He covers everything there, so health and safety, everything is wrapped up there, so we're going to set for the management committee members. I incorporate them because they are going to be on a regular basis to be incorporated with that training. As for the fire department, that is the bring to the fire chief.
Okay. Again, my own ignorance on this. So our port management committee members will attend one of the two township
There were
sessions.
2 members in attendance last.
There was, and I'm.
And
Oh, yeah. That's right. Meeting. Months out.
Thursday, I have not received those photos.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. No, that's good. I think I knew that answer. I think we talked about it before, but I just wanted to raise the question.
Yeah,
It's not a debate.
no, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the fire department takes care of their own. Is that right? Sorry, Mr. CEO.
So through the mayor, the last year what took place was when the fire department did that, did the sections there as opposed to trying to get members. Yeah, in the package, so trying to.
Thank you. How? Do they do it once every 4 years like we do? Or do they do it more often?
I would say that you would see interval that we are doing it and we are overdue in reality to complete that.
Okay. Okay, so I, just want to say to all staff here, recreation roads, there's a ton of stuff going on in this end. Sorry, Wendy, I did not mean to exclude you in that comment. There's a ton of work going on in the township, whether it's roads, whether it's rec, whether it's planning, or whether it's governance. And I just think that we need to recognize how good of a job you're all doing. I know we often, you don't hear from us unless it's a complaint or we're not happy with something, and very seldom do we say thank you. I think, I'll say some more in the mayor's report later, but just recognizing through the CAO's report how much work is going on and how hard you guys are working with such a small staff. So well done to all of you. Okay, so it is moved in second, but I didn't call the question, correct? Is that right? Do I have it in front of me? I do. So again, the question is, the municipal council receives the CAO's administrative report as presented. Anyone further questions or comments on the report? No, then I will call the question. All in favor? John? Inquiries and notice of motion. Does anyone have an inquiry or a notice of motion?
Well, I was gonna call it on the notice, but I think it's more of an increase. I was wondering, now that we're fresh momentarily off of our street banner display policy going into effect. I was wondering if there was other opportunities for us from a township perspective, there were other things out there. You know, things that came to mind, and these are just ideas, but I think it's something that staff should consider to look at is, you know, maybe just a TWPC banner for whether we're not using it for other things, or, you know, an orange one for when we get to September 30th, reconciliation day, something for Remembrance Day, and maybe something for Canada Day. I just thought banners like that might be good, and we can't things too soon, but I just thought that if we could look into something like that, since there's some proposal or some motion we can look at, something like that, or look for something along those lines. I think that'd be a good thing to use those signs like more often than just this one.
Yep. I think that's a great idea. Coming to a CDC meeting. Did you have anything? So, Deputy, you have a
Yes.
notice of motion?
Yes, I'm going to be at the CDC meeting making a motion. That the counties would layer, that we put that on hold until 2026. When we do their official plan. So the motion that to send a letter off to the counties. Next week.
So, to the CAO, just. In regard to that, do we have any say in that at all? Does the counties even have any say?
Well, this undertaking was required. For the county undertaking. Next, the next official plan. I'm just not sure what that's from, it's off the top of my head.
Official plans in 2026.
May have that date more readily available tonight.
The next time the official plan review is scheduled to be done in 2026. In regards to whether or not we have received, we can certainly submit comments. So it's in the consultation stage and they're looking for feedback. So the township is of course welcome to submit comments to.
Can we also send that to the other 9 municipalities, letter to jump on board? Okay, that will connect, okay. Thanks for that.
I would say. Ideally, the time to delay that would be prior to the study being done.
Yeah.
We're kind of late in.
We still should be 2026, because I think we're rushing myself.
So you're gonna bring a motion forward, so we'll have a discussion on that on CDC then, that's here. Yeah, okay, so we added to a CDC.
Or, yeah. Our clerk will be the motion.
Okay.
Like that.
She's gonna word it really well. All right, so that's it for councilor inquiries and notices of motion, seeing no more than yours. Or you finally, a very tiny one tonight.
You have nothing to report?
I've got a couple of tiny things. First, to both Councillor Ward and Councillor Martell, who was not here tonight. I believe you've both recently had birthdays. I didn't catch what the number of yours was, but I did 37. I did catch that Councillor Martell turned 60, so happy birthday to you both.
Yes.
I have in here that you know, want to commend the pool and the rec staff for the pool parties this weekend and the openings of both of the pools. I have heard nothing but positive comments thus far on the pools, the staff, the guards. And as much crow, I'm gonna eat it here in public as well, with the heaters. So well done to Mike, to you and all the staff. So to echo, I think something that both the CAO and the deputy mayor said already, and it's compliments to the Edwardsburg Cardinal Firefighter Association for their success in the EOFA games. The team performed well. Second place, and I think got points in each and every event, which I think is fantastic. It was great to watch the skill and the professionalism of all the volunteers. So well done to the team on the second place finish. I think it's worth noting, we made it out for the parade, the ceremonial guard band from Parliament. They were awesome and amazing, and it was pretty cool to have them here. We did the Country Rocks dance at the Ingredient Center, and I will say I have not attended a dance at the Ingredient Center. It reminded me a lot of being a kid when there were monster bingos and big stuff going on in the arena when there was no ice in there. And I do have to say it was nice. It wasn't a big crowd, but it was nice to actually see folks in there using it for another purpose other than a hockey game. Yeah. So, you know, good on that one as well. From everything that I've heard, the Highway 2 project appears to be going great thus far. And what I'm told is that it's several days ahead of schedule. I want to say thank you to the deputy mayor openly and publicly for attending, you know, several events recently on my behalf or on council's behalf in my absence. Ottawa Public Library. You get to meet the ambassador from Greece in North Grenville, and I believe you met with Jackson Wyatt of Capon at the model home on LaRue Mills Road to discuss some on and off grid affordable housing projects. So thank you to the DM. You know, you're a great team working willingness to represent the township as often as you do. Thank you. And I think the end of the month, it's the 26th. We have mentioned this about, we just passed the banners thing. It is we will be marking the end of the Pride Month. I think the banners were received well by most. Little to no negative feedback, but what the negative feedback does prove is that there really actually is a need for those banners to be up there. You know I received an email about, you know, a lot of like a negative email about why those banners are up there, and it does nothing more than prove why they need to be there. So just want to say there's a lot of work still left to be done to create equality for all parts across township of Edwardsburg Cardinal community, but that is a first good step. Lastly, looking forward to a fantastic candidate, and I encourage everyone to get out and support the many local community events that are going to be held. So having said that, Deputy Mayor.
Chair to do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Smell. Municipality Council received the mayor's report as presented.
Questions, comments, anything on the mayor's report? Hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you. Then, question period. We did have one left. No questions, no media questions, nobody online. So we're good then to go to closed session. So, Councillor Smale, you have the motion to proceed in closed session.
I do, your worship, this moved by myself and seconded by the deputy mayor, Steve Noval, that the municipal council proceeds into closed session at 7:56 in order to address a matter pertaining to section 239(2)K, a position plan procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local boards, specifically industrial land. And B, section 2392B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, specifically fire department and closed session meetings, minutes dated May 29th, 2023.
And so question to close the session, comments, questions before we head in? No, then I'll call the question, all in favor, proceed. I got 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Thank you. Good. Yes, okay. All right. Oh, yeah, what he does that, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Dillabaugh. The closed meeting of municipal council now does adjourn and the open meeting does now resume at 10:22 p.m.
Okay, call the question, all in favor? And back in open session. You have a
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Waddy Snail, that municipal council receives and approves the closed session minutes of council dated May 29th, 2023.
Thank you. Session minutes, call the question on the closed session minutes, all in favor? Okay, reporting out of the closed session that. In part A, we met to discuss procurement. Well, that's not quite right. We met in closed session and provided direction to the CAO. Specifically in regard to industrial land. And in section B, we met to discuss personnel matters and received an update, and we are supportive of the direction taken by the CAO. That's it for reporting out of closed session. Number 19 is confirmation bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Waddy Snail that the bylaw adopted confirm and ratified matters dealt with by resolution be now passed, signed, sealed, number 2023-39.
Good. Deputy Mayor, I'll call the question then. All in favor?
Aye.
And we can move to adjournment.
So moved.
Councillor Smale, I believe, adjournment.
Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Chris Ward. The municipal council does now adjourn at 10:24.
Perfect. That is a non-debatable option. I will call the question then. All in favor? We are adjourned.
Oh.
All right, guys. I'm love this because I'm gonna make you a quick. Maybe back around. Keep going in closed session like that.